Hi, I'm just watching through some of the LPs that I bought the other day. Bunch of LPs, different weird labels. The thing they have in common is that they contain um, early jazz recordings from the 20s. The first one I've got here is, check that label, the Graniphone. The Cotton Pickers, Volume 1, the first 18 Brunswick recordings in chronological order, limited edition for collectors. This is very typical, very simple graphic layout. Not that much text, but quite a lot of information for the jazz buffs here. The Cotton Pickers with Phil Napoleon, later known from the Napoleon Emperors of Jazz, Miff Mo, Frank Signorelli, many famous names here. It's a Dutch issue as far as I know. Okay, I've seen some records on the Biograph label before. This is a record, New York to Chicago, 1923 to 1928, and you can see it's Clarence Williams, Kid Ory, Tommy Ladnier, King Oliver, Junie Cobb, all these kinds of recordings that we tend to like. Perry Bradford's Jazz Fools, Ollie Powers Harmonies, Syncopators, Tiny Power and his 45, material from the Paramount and the QRS labels. This is a Brooklyn based record label, Biograph. Okay, well, what have we got here? The newly enlarged Cardboard Dance Hall Hit of the Week recordings, 1930 to 1932. These are, of course, recordings from the Durium label, or, well, it was called Hit of the Week in the United States, but the material of these records were, as you know, Durium. Sunbeam label, California label. This record was issued in 1974. Got Sam Laney's Dancing Sambo, Erno Rappi's Orchestra, Freddie Rich Radio Orchestra, Harry Reese's Radio Band, Ben Pollock's Orchestra. Quite a lot of interesting titles here. Oh, and we got a record here with Sippy Wallace on the Document. Here, limited edition. On the Document label. Recordings from between 1923 to 1929. Eddie Haywood, Clarence Williams, Buddy Christian, Johnny Dodds, so on, so forth. Quite a new LP actually, printed in 1990. Most of these are from the 70s. This is a record on the Historical Record label. Collector's Items, 1925 to 1929, Clarence Williams, Janet James and her Cinco Jazzers, Fletcher Henderson, Sonic Lay's Plantation Orchestra, many others. New Jersey, yeah, have a look at this. What a layout. As long as you have a nice fine typewriter, you can get very far. Oh, and this is a double LP, which isn't issued by some unknown small label for the jazz connoisseurs, because as you see, this is a CBS record. Andy Condon's Word of Jazz, double LP with lots of interesting recordings from the Melotone, OK, Vocalion labels. We got Frankie Trumbauer, Bunny Berrigan, Sidney Bechet, Louis Armstrong, what else? Dorsey Brothers. Mythmole. Okay. Alright. This is a Swedish issue. Many of these others were American or Canadians, but this is Swedish. Eddie and Sugar Lou's Hotel Tyler Orchestra, 1929 to 1931, on the Everybody's label. And I don't know anything about that. I have never heard about Eddie and Sugar Lou either, but they made these recordings in Dallas, as it seems. KWKH Blues, Eddie and Sugar Lou Stomp, Yo-Yo Blues. I haven't listened to this, but it looks quite interesting. That's my computer buzzing in the background, in case you wonder. Okay, I like this record cover because I like old 78 RPMs. This is Mythmole, the early years. Lovely old 78 RPM labels. I bought it mainly because of I'm sure the contents is quite nice too. It's a Canadian release on the Jazz Studies label. Here's another one, same series, but this is with Red Nichols, early Red Nichols from the 1920s. Yeah, limited edition for collectors. I think this is a common theme on most of the records I'm showing here. James P. Johnson and Perry Bradford with Fats Waller from 1921 to 1929 on the Arcadia label. Also with this kind of typewriter layout. It's a Canadian label too, with James P. Johnson's Harmony 8, Johnson's Jazzers, Jimmy Johnson and his orchestra, Dunn's Original Jazz Hounds, Georgia Strutters. Nice. Yeah. And Shake It Down, finally. Compilation on the Harrison Records label. Recorded sessions of 1928, 1929 and 1930. And we got Ellis Stratikos and his Hotel Young Orchestra, Carl Fenton and his orchestra, Doc Doherty and his orchestra, Kay Kaiser and his orchestra, Broadway Broadcasters with Sam Lanin, Billy Hayes and his orchestra, Smith Value and his orchestra, and so on. Well, all in all, a nice bunch of quite scarce LP issues with old 78 RPM recordings. And this is an important thing, they haven't made some sort of fake stereo on these issues, as many record companies try to do. Okay, that's all for now. Bye bye.